Shalom, 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 Israel. This is No Saint Left Behind once again. I'm Brother Zahar, coming to you with another lesson. And I pray that it be edifying unto you, and that you can take something from it and apply it to your life. And first I just want to start off with giving all praises to Yahweh, which is the Father, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, in the name of his Son, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakar Kwadash, in the name of the Holy Spirit. All right, and I also want to give double honors to the Apostle of Great Millstone, starting off with the head Apostle Tahar, which, helped me to, that helped sharpen, my sword, my iron. It helped me to understand the word better about. They taught me how to look up words and things of that nature by studying their videos, and I just want to, say shalom to the brothers out there that's rehearsing these law, statutes, commandments to the best of their ability, and that's doing the will of the Most High, man, and walking this word out, being doers and not just hearers and talkers only. All right, and this lesson today is going to be about, can women preach and teach the Bible? I got a lot of people coming to me about women teaching and preaching, and being behind the pulpit in these churches. All right, so we're going to get into that today. If it don't line up with the word, it ain't of the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. If it don't line up with this, they speak not according to this word, there is no light in them. That's what I think Isaiah 8:20 saying. So that's what we're going to get in today. And we're going to start out, matter of fact, let's go ahead and get started. Let's not prolong this thing. We're going to start out with 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. I'm going to read 9 through 15, but I'm going to stop and go here and there, precepts, and we're going to break down this word. 1 Timothy second chapter, verse 9. Salakia. Verse 9. In like manner also that women adore themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with braided hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array. So what this is saying, that women adore themselves in modest apparel. Today, if you take around and just look at our women today, our women, everything they got on is tight and revealing. You're definitely going to see cleavage. You're going to see their breasts. You're going to see the print of their cootie cat. Their secret parts. You're going to see the print. They got their pants and shorts tucked around their coochie. They call it a camel toe. And so, and our Spanish women is more big on that, than the Southern women, than the so-called Negroes. So, but our women got to be in modest apparel, man. Not walking around here having half of your ass cheek hanging out. Women walk around with see-through shirts on and pants on. You can see their nipples and everything. They just been over revealing. You know what I'm saying? So our women shouldn't be walking around here like that, man. That's what that means by with modest apparel. And if you go to these churches, man, they have dress contests in these churches. Whose dress is the shortest? Whose dress is the tightest? Who butts the biggest? Who can show the most cleavage? You know what I'm saying? So, they doing this in these churches. And they got their pants on, got their shorts on. They got the camel toe showing. So that's what they're doing. And so the Bible said that our women should adorn themselves in modest apparel. And so let's go show, matter of fact, let's go to Deuteronomy. Give me a second. Let's go to Deuteronomy real quick. Let me put Deuteronomy in here. Show you how women should dress anyway. Deuteronomy 22:5. Deuteronomy 22, chapter 5. It says, the woman should not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are abomination unto Yahweh thy power. And that word abomination means detestable. So what do a man wear that a woman shouldn't wear? Pants. Like if you go to a bathroom, the restroom in these restaurants or different places, what you see on the restaurant, on the man's door it got a man. You can tell it's a man. And on the woman's door it got what? A figure of a so-called woman in a dress, because that's woman's apparel. Women shouldn't wear men's apparel. Like, even though they say these effeminate shorts or these women's shorts or women pants, they might have made them for you, but you're not supposed to wear that because that's the attire of a man. That's why it has zippers, for the man can pull out his penis. A woman don't need a zipper. So, the Bible say that, I'm going to read that again. Deuteronomy 22:5. The woman should not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. You know, so you got women that's walking around here dressed and looking like men, sagging in as well. And when you wear men apparel, pants and, you know, tank tops, wife beaters, whatever you want to call them, Timbs, when you wear things of that nature, it puts a manly spirit on you. You know, that's why when you see a woman that's dressed like that, you know, she thinks she a man, she thinks she bad, she tough. You know what I'm saying? She always talking junk. Compare that to when you see a woman with a dress on. Because when a woman has a dress on, she has a different kind of spirit. She has an effeminate spirit. She's more easy to talk to. She's more at ease, at peace. She got a calm spirit on her. You know, she ain't trying to be cock diesel strong, you know, because she don't have that manly spirit on her. So that's why the Bible said that a woman shouldn't wear a man's apparel. That it's a detestable and abominable thing. Because a woman shouldn't show all her cleavage and her breast and her butt and her camel toe. Because that's for your husband. You know, that's why men treat women like whores today. You know, because you look like one. Not saying you are one, but you look like one. That's what prostitutes were. So that's why men treat you that way. And then when you get with a man, he hit it and leave. Why? Because to him, you're a whore. That's how you presented yourself. Not saying you're that way. So that's why a woman, you know, if you can, you know, if you have the means to buy dresses, you know, the next time you go out and buy some clothes, don't buy no pants. You know what I'm saying? Don't buy no Timbs. You know, buy what women wear. Buy you some dresses and not too short. You know what I'm saying? Be modest. Be presentable. Put that woman's spirit back on you. All right, let's go back to 1 Timothy 2. All right, and it says, they should adorn themselves in modest apparel. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. With shamefacedness, you know, and this with shamefacedness, which means the shamefacedness means with respect. You know what I'm saying? Be respectful. You know, have respect for yourself. Have respect for the man that you're dealing with. Have respect for your father. You know, your brothers, your sons, your daughters. Don't go out here dressed like a whore. You know what I'm saying? Don't go out here showing everything that you got. So that's what shamefacedness means. It means to have reverence, you know, regard for others, and respect. That's what shamefacedness means. So the woman should be in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sobriety. You know, and this word sobriety means to have self-control, to be sober-minded. You know what I'm saying? And it says not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly array. And so what is this saying? It's saying, it's not saying you can't have braided hair, you can't wear gold. You know what I'm saying? It's not saying you can't have expensive clothes on. What it's saying is, don't do all this. Don't wear braids and golds and expensive clothes to draw attention to your body. That's all that it's saying. Don't go out here braiding your hair up, the best 1,000 braids you can get, wearing all this jewelry on, and wearing these expensive, costly array, wearing all these expensive clothes to draw another man's attention to you. So because you're in the wrong spirit with doing that. So it's not saying you can't have these things. It's just saying don't do it to show off or to draw a man's attention to your body. You know. All right, let's continue on. Verse 10. Hold on, give me a second. Matter of fact, let's go to the Apocrypha, which is going to be Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus 9, I believe. Ecclesiasticus 26 and 9. Give me a second, let me get the... Ecclesiasticus 26 and 9, and it reads, matter of fact, I'm going to start at 8. I'm going to just start at 8. Ecclesiasticus, which is in the Apocrypha, or some people call it Sirach, it's 26, and I'm going to start at 8. A drunken woman in a girdle abroad causeth great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. So what means a drunken woman, a woman that's oversexually drinking. You know, a woman that gets drunk. And then it says, in a gather abroad. That means she's never at home. She's everywhere. She's at every party, at every cookout, anywhere niggas at, she's there. She's drinking all the time. She's there showing off her body, because it says she's there showing off her body and just, drawing attention to herself. So-called being a whore. Let's read it again. Ecclesiastes 26:8. A drunken woman and a gathered abroad. That means a gathered abroad means everywhere. She always somewhere. Every weekend she got a party. Cause great anger. Said this type of woman, a woman that likes to party every weekend and through the week, want to be at every event and like to drink a lot and get high, says she caused great anger. Who she caused great anger to? The man that she's dealing with. Or her father, her brother, her mother, her sisters, her children. She caused great anger, because that's a disgrace to be getting drunk all the time, to always be drinking. That's a disgrace to be at every event in the world. Every weekend you got to go out. You got to be at every club, every bar, every cookout. You always got to be somewhere. That's called a gather abroad. You're never at home. Only time you're at home is when you're sleeping. Sometimes you don't sleep at home. Just go home and change clothes. Let's start that again. Ecclesiastes 26 and verse 8. A drunken woman and a gather abroad cause a great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. What it means she won't cover her own shame? She don't care. She don't care that her titties hanging out, her ass hanging out. She's showing her crotch. Her camel toe is out there. She don't care if she's in the street drunk, throwing up in different cars and different beds with different men every weekend. You know what I'm saying? She says she will not cover her own shame. She don't care. So that's a woman that's not modest. Verse 9. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. So that's why in 1 Timothy 2, chapter 2 and verse 9, that's why it says in like manner also that a woman adore themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with braided hair or gold or pearls or costly array. Now read this, Ecclesiastes 26 and 9. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. So if you're walking around here looking like a prostitute, acting like a prostitute, you might not be a prostitute, or you might be, but that's what you're going to be perceived as. Read that again, Ecclesiastes 26 and 9. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. Because the woman, she dressed herself up like a clown. She put all this junk on, blush, eyelining, whatever you call it, just to get attention. She want to throw her hips left and right hard as she can. Got a butt hanging out, crotch showing, breast showing. All right, and, that's in the Apocrypha. You see that right there? The whoredom of a woman may be known in her what? Haughty looks and eyelids. All right. So now let's go on to verse 10. If thy daughter be shamefaced, that means if our daughter be respectful, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. So even the Most High, Yahweh, the Most High, is telling you to don't allow your daughters, to be at every event, to be out all night long, to be jumping in and out of cars with different men. Don't allow her to dress like a hooker, showing her breasts and her ass, her camel toe. Don't give her too much freedom. Because when you give a little girl or a woman, or you give a woman, period, or a girl too much freedom, she's going to abuse it. And then start hanging around little whores, she's going to become a whore or dress like one. Read that again, verse 10, Ecclesiastes 26:10. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty, through too much freedom. So don't allow your daughter, if you got a daughter or a wife and she's not already ratchet, don't give her too much freedom, man, where she'll end up seeing this and being around this and then adapting to it. All right, now let's go to 1 Peter. Let's go to 1 Peter real quick. 1 Peter 3 and 3. 1 Peter 3 and 3 reads, Who's adoring, let it not be that outward adoring of plaiting the hair and a wearing of gold or of putting on of apparels. Let's read that again. 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 3. Who's adoring? So it's saying if you're trying to, look good and make yourself feel good or whatever, if you're adoring yourself, let it not be that outward adoring. Adoring yourself, make yourself feel good and look good inwardly first. You know what I'm saying? Don't always be a person that want to look good outwardly. That want to express herself outwardly. Make yourself feel good inwardly first. And then don't get your hair done and all this gold and expensive clothes just to draw attention. It says, let me read that again. Who's adoring? Let it not be that outward adoring, of plaiting the hair, and a wearing of gold, or a putting on of apparel. So don't present yourself outwardly to draw attention to your body. All right? To be a whore or act like a whore. Let's continue to read. Let's go back to 1 Timothy. Let's go back to 1 Timothy, this wind blowing. 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 10. But which becometh women professing godliness with good works. So if you call yourself a woman professing godliness, you call yourself wanting the Yahweh, the Most High in your life, and you want to be delivered when Yahweh shall return, you gotta have good works. You know what I'm saying? You gotta present yourself like you going to see the Most High Yahweh or Yahweh Shai. Present yourself like you in the presence of the Father and His Son. You wouldn't have your ass and titties hanging out and your crotch showing then. You know what I'm saying? So present yourself daily, every day, as that you in the presence of the Lord. All right. Let's go to verse 11. 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. The Bible said, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. And that subjection means submission. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be submitted unto your man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta pay reverence to your man. You gotta be obedient unto your man. Let me read that again. 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. So, with all submission. So the Bible said that the woman got to learn in silence. So if a woman can preach or teach, but the Bible says she has to be in silence. So why is these women preaching and teaching? She's not in silence. That's a contradiction right there. Even you got events in the Bible where Martha and Mary, when Martha was cooking and Mary wasn't helping her, Mary was sitting at the feet of Yahweh Shai, but she was in silence while he was teaching. Matter of fact, let's just go there. Let's go there. Let's go to Luke 10. Luke 10 and 38. Let's go to Luke. There we go. Went right there. Luke 10 and 38. And it reads, hold on, one page. Luke 10:38. Now it came to pass, as they went, that he entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha received him into her house. It's talking about Yahweh Shai when they was walking, him and the disciples. So Martha received Yahweh Shai into his house, to her house. Salakia. Verse 39. And she had a sister called Mary. So this is what you hear about when the preachers be talking about Martha and Mary. This is the scene. Verse 39. And she had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Yahweh Shai's feet and heard his word. So she was sitting at the feet of Yahweh Shai, but she was listening. She wasn't talking. She wasn't asking questions. She was there listening, being obedient, being in silence. The Bible says she was listening. She was in silence. Let's continue. Verse 40. But Martha was chambered, which means Martha was distressed. She was distracted. Martha was distracted, chambered, distracted. Verse 40. But Martha was chambered about much serving. So Martha was mad because she had to do all the serving herself, she was cooking food and serving the Yahweh Shai and disciples, but Mary wasn't helping her. Mary was sitting at the feet of Yahweh Shai and listening to him teach. But Martha wanted help to prepare this food for the men of the Most High. But Martha was chambered about much serving, and came to Yahweh Shai, and said, Lord, doest thou not care that my sister had left me to serve alone? Bid her, therefore, that she help me. So Martha said to Yahweh Shai, do you not care that my sister is not helping me? She sat here in the presence of men listening to you, when she should be doing what a woman's supposed to do, is serve the men. But she's not serving, she's sitting here listening. Let's see what Yahweh Shai say. And Yahweh Shai answered and said unto her, Martha, Martha, thou art careful. He said that means worried. Thou art careful and troubled about many things. Verse 42. But one thing is needful. Slacken. And Mary hath chosen that good part, which shall not be taken away from her. So Mary was allowed to listen to the men of the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. She was allowed to listen. She was in silence. And the Most High, and Yahweh Shai said that shouldn't be taken from her. She's allowed to sit there and listen and to be in silence, but not to teach. So she wasn't out of pocket because she was listening. But Martha was mad because Martha wanted help in that kitchen. All right. So let's continue to read. Let's go to verse 12. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 12. I'm going to read 11 and go on into 12. And it says, let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to assert authority over the man, but to be in silence. So the Most High said that he suffered not a woman to teach, but to be in silence. Let me read it again. Verse 12, 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to assert authority, that means to have authority over the men, but to be in silence. So a woman is not supposed to be teaching a man. She's supposed to be teaching her kids, but she's not supposed to be teaching the man this word. She's not supposed to be preaching or teaching in these churches like they allow them to do. She's supposed to be under authority, the authority of her man. She's supposed to be in silence, as it says. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to assert authority, or that means have authority over the men, but to be in silence. A woman is not to be in these churches or in the presence of men running her mouth about this word. She's supposed to be in silence. She's not supposed to be trying to teach men. Like you got Cherry Love, you got Juanita Bynum, you got all these women out here trying to teach men that's running churches. They out of pocket. The Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is not with them at all. They are under the authority of Satan because they're not lining up with this word. All right, let's get some precepts on this thing. Let's get some precepts. And the first precept, and wind blowing. And this first precept, matter of fact, we're going to go to 1 Corinthians. The first precept is going to be 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 14. And we're going to start at 33. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. And it reads, for Yahweh is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches of the saints. And this church, the word church just means in the congregation of the saints. But say for the Most High Yahweh is not the author of confusion. Because we know women brings what? Women brings confusion. Women teach in emotions. They're emotional creatures. They teach in emotions. And then not only that, that they're not under the authority of God or who you call Jesus, Yahweh the Father and the Son Yahweh Shai, but they're under the authority of the man. And so when she began to teach, she leaves her authority and she puts herself under authority of Yahweh Shai, who they even call Jesus. That's why a woman would say, well, Jesus is my head. Yeah, that white man is your head. That devil is your head. But Yahweh Shah is not your head. Yahweh Shah is the head of man, and the man is your head. Let's do that again. Let's read that again. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. For Yahweh is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the congregations, as in all the churches of the saints. So the Most High is not the author of confusion. And we know women bring confusion. They bring emotions. When you're dealing with this word, you can't have that emotional line attached to you. Because the Most High in here talks about killing children. Talks about women being raped. Women not going to go with that in their emotions. Verse 34. 1 Corinthians 14:34. Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted, that means commanded. They have no, they don't even have the permission from the Most High. It is not permitted unto them to speak. A woman is not supposed to be in the congregation of men or in these so-called churches teaching or asserting authority over men or preaching. But they are commanded, this is a commandment, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also said the law. So it's a law that a woman can't teach a man. It's a commandment. Let's read that again. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 34. Let your woman keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted, they don't have permission, unto them to speak. But they are commanded, it's a commandment, so that's a law. But they are commanded to be under obedience, as also said the law. So the Most High made it a commandment that a woman can't teach a man or assert authority over man, to have authority over a man. It's a commandment, as also said the law. And so we're going to get this law. Matter of fact, let's see what the law say. Let's go to Genesis 3:16. This is the Most High gave this law at the beginning when Eve sinned and Adam. Genesis 3:16. Let's read this law. That's why these households are not right. Because you got women that want to assert authority over men, that want to have authority over man. You got women that want 50-50. You got women that don't want to be in the order of the Most High's Godhead. They don't want to be under a man. They want to be above a man or equal with a man, which is not of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Genesis chapter 3 and verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrows in thy conception. This because the woman sinned. So that's why when you women having going through labor, you're having these awful birth pains. That's a curse from the Most High. And that's something the so-called white man, the Edomites, can't take. They can't stop you from going through that pain when you're giving birth. I don't care nothing about the what that shit called, the epithermal shot they put in your spine. I don't care what they do, you still have those pains. Because that's a curse on you women from the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow in thy conception, and sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. That's why you have so much pain when you're bringing these kids in these cramps. All right, and what they call it, labor pains. Continuing, and they desire shall be to thy husband. So your desire should be to your husband. And if you don't have a husband, your desire is to your father. That's the order. If you're not dealing with a man, then your desire, which means which means you should be under your father's authority. But if you're dealing with a man, you should be under his authority. It's only two authorities you can be under. Your father, if you don't have sex, now you're under authority with the man. But if you're still a virgin, you're under authority with your father. Continue to read. And they desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. So the Bible, the Most High said in Genesis 3:16, from the beginning, the 3rd chapter of the Bible, that the man shall rule over the woman. That's the order of the Most High. The woman shouldn't be equal or above a man. The man should be ruling over the woman. That's what the word say. That's the commandment. That's the law we just read. Now let's go back to 1 Corinthians and continue to read this thing. Where was that? 33? We'll read 34 again. Let your woman keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also said the law. Verse 35. if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for a woman to speak in the church. It's a shame for a woman to speak in the gatherings or the congregation of men. If she want to learn anything, let her learn from her husband at home. If she got questions, ask him. But if she's just going to sit there and listen and keep her mouth shut, it's okay, because we seen that with Mary. You know, she sat at the foot of Yahushua. Martha was mad, but Mary was being silent. So he allowed her to sit there and learn. So, and that's the law, and it's commanded. Thus says Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. That's why y'all got this awful judgment coming on y'all women, because y'all out of pocket. All right, let's go to 1 Peter. 1 Peter 3:1. It's another precept, 1 Peter 3:1. Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husbands. So being to subjection, that means being the obedience or submission unto the men that you're dealing with. That if any, because when you women hear husband, y'all think that y'all got to go through this Edomites, so-called white men system and go to a church and say vows or go to the courthouse and sign a piece of paper and get a ring. No, that's not a husband. A husband is a man that went into you. If he has sex with you, that's your husband. That's your man. I don't care what you say. Find the way that they do marriage today with these ceremonies and all that in the Bible. Until then, shut up. The man you're dealing with is your husband. Let's read that again. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 3. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be warned by the conversation of the wives. So this right here is saying to you women, if you're dealing with a man that's not in the truth, that's not following the word, if you've been in subjection unto him, if you've been obedient to him and let him know that he's your Lord and he's your head, pretty much what he says goes if it don't go against his word. By your actions, you can win him over to being a believer. Because he doesn't believe doesn't mean you can't stop. You got to stop. You have to stop dealing with him. I don't care if he don't believe. He can be a Muslim. If you're dealing with that man when you came to this truth, you got to stay with that man. You got to stay with that man. That's just the word of the Most High. You might win him over through your actions and showing him your faithfulness to the Most High, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. But if you leave that man and deal with another man because he doesn't believe, then you just commit adultery. You just destroy your own salvation. All right? Let's go to, matter of fact, let's go to Jeremiah 31 and 22. Jeremiah 31 and 22. Salakia. Give me a second. I'm dropping stuff.